Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We have got Shaka Hislop. That wasn't him yawning.
No.
It was Frank Leboeuf.
I had a nap earlier.
You did? You were worried that you were snoring, but you were not, I can confirm. And Mark Ogden is joining us as well.
And it wasn't because we were talking about women's soccer that I was yawning. Just because I'm tired.
Not. All right, extra time. For Frank and Shaka, regarding De Bruyne, what was your last game at Chelsea and West Ham like? All right, let's start with you, Shaka.
My last game at West Ham was the 2006 FA Cup final. Oh. That was my last game in English football.
So what was it like?
Could have been better. Could have been better. Yeah. But at least I went straight from there to the World Cup of Trinidad and Tobago. So at least I had that as a kind of cushion to fall on.
Moving on, Frank.
Please.
I don't remember because it wasn't planned as my last game, and so I don't remember which game it was. I was supposed to stay, and suddenly Marseille called me, and I felt that Mr. Ranieri would pick more John Terry than myself, so I said maybe it's time for me to go. So I didn't think about, it's my last game for Chelsea, so I don't remember.
Okay, Mark. With United aiming to sign Cunha, how much of a budget will Amorim have to make more signings this summer?
Well, if they sign Liam Delap as well, which would be a 30 million deal, I think that will be, in terms of what they can do without selling players, that'll be it. But if they can get rid of people like Marcus Rashford, Anthony, a couple of others, then I'd imagine you might get another 30, 40 million to spend. But then it depends on if they win the Europa League, then that's another £100 million in the coffers. So it depends what happens on Wednesday. But they can't. I think it could raise the spending to about £120 million this summer without the Champions League. If they get the Champions League, different story.
Frank, considering Chelsea's love for wingers, should they pursue Rodrygo? With a Y.
Yes, because he's different class, I mean, and he has some experience. He knows the top of the top level, and yes, comparing to the others who came and didn't perform for Chelsea, who were some unknown from the world of football. I mean, Rodrygo, different level, and definitely a good signing, but I think it will cost a lot.
Okay. Manchester United player salaries will reportedly increase 25%, Mark, if they qualify for the Champions League. How much are players aware of the performance incentives, and will it motivate United's players to perform? Why don't they perform on a weekly basis?
Well, I mean, that is true, but it's when they missed out in the Champions League last year, their salary dropped 25% by being in the Europa League. So all they will be doing is going back to their regular salary, which is based on a Champions League season. So they're basically getting back to what they were so they've had a drop this season. So they're not getting a 25% pay rise. They're getting a 25% return to where they were if they get in the Champions League. So yeah, I'm sure they're aware of it. I'm sure they're aware of the drop that comes, but it's a big drop from a big figure. So I suppose it's not too painful for their salaries.
Is this laid out to players, or does it go through agents, if there'll be incentives or decreases in pay?
I have no idea. I was just thinking, whatever happened to the £1,000 win bonus? What happened to that? All of a sudden you get a 25% pay increase. And I have played football in the wrong time.
Yep, times have changed, Jack.
Oh yeah, I'm realising that.
The £1,000 win bonus. Good old days, huh?
Ah, boy.
Frank, one of your favourite subjects, the Ballon d'Or. Lamine Yamal and Jacob Murphy both have the same exact goal/assist numbers this season, with 8 and 12 respectively. As great as Yamal is, how can a season like that win a Ballon d'Or when Rafinha, Dembele and Salah have put up video game numbers?
I'm not sure I understand the end of the question, but do you know what? It doesn't really matter. I think it's that Ballon d'Or thing is a show. So yeah, Jacob Murphy can pretend to be in the race, but everybody was laughing while you were asking the question because nobody is at Lamine Yamal level. That guy is an alien, and he proved it. And he's the perfect target for the Ballon d'Or, and everybody will be absolutely pleased to see him getting it. For the others, I don't know. They deserve it, but don't forget Lamine Yamal won the European Championship on top of the La Liga. So in terms of silverware, there is nothing to contest as well. Last year, you know what I said about Carvajal and everything, because we had to talk about the Ballon d'Or. For me, it's about getting silverware. It's not only being good, it's getting something at the end of the season. Murphy got the FA Cup, but Lamine Yamal, comparing to even the others, won some other things. And so there is no competition for me this season.
Mark, you're given a vote in the Ballon d'Or. What are you looking at? How the player makes you feel when you watch him? Stats, assists, goals? What they've won?
Listen, like the guys, I'm not the biggest fan of the Ballon d'Or, so I'm not probably not the best person to ask. But if I was voting for it, I would go for somebody like Bruno Fernandes, maybe, who's had a really good season, a very bad team.
I didn't realise it was in the Ballon d'Or. I just thought it was best player of the year outside of the Ballon d'Or.
Oh God, you can't be there, Mark.
No, listen, you've got to go for somebody who's had a big impact on a side that's won things. I don't think you can win the Ballon d'Or if you haven't played in a team that's won something. But again, you know, if you're picking a player from a winning team, it seems a bit unfair that, you know, it's supposed to be a team game rather than an individual game. So I'd go for a player who has had a big season in a winning team, basically.
Okay. Well, let's see if Bruno is in a winning team.
Oh boy.
For Mark, what's the perception towards Wrexham over in the UK? Are they enjoying the story of their 3 consecutive promotions, or is there any animosity because of their more mainstream fame here in the US?
There's definitely animosity in the lower leagues. So as they come through the leagues, from National League to League 2 to League 1, the teams that they've been up against in those divisions, they have been quite unpopular in the sense that they've been accused of buying their way out of the division, either by transfer fees or by wages. So they're not very popular down the leagues, but higher up the leagues, I don't hear any Premier League fans or the Premier League community talking about Wrexham. So they haven't that ball of fire hasn't really caught on yet in the Premier League. But I think as they climb the table, other clubs will start looking at them and give them the same criticism that maybe Chelsea had back in the day, Man City have had. But yeah, right now, they have been unpopular in the lower leagues, but for people like me, I know it's a great story to cover, so I think it's a good story. But yeah, they haven't got universal popularity in the UK, shall we say. And
obviously you kept an eye on them, Mark. You've been covering more Wrexham than you probably would have expected to in these last few seasons. How do you think they're going to fare in the Championship? Because isn't that a whole different beast?
Absolutely, but I think they've got the right idea that they're going to look at players who are Premier League players that have come to the end of the contracts, maybe free agents who can drop down, or players that have got a year left to go. They're not going to be spending massive money, 10, 20 million pounds signings, but they're going to be quite astute in the market. So I think they'll bring players in who will make them comfortable in the Championship. I think it's a big ask for them to go through and win promotion again, but I think that they are a well-run club, and I think they will bring players in that make them comfortable next year. And I think 2 to 3 years, I think you can look at Wrexham being in the Premier League, but not next season. I think it's too big a leap from where they are right now to where they want to be.
Great.
They should buy Bruno Fernandes.
Well, a club on the up wants Bruno Fernandes, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Frank, I can't wait till tomorrow's show to see you bring it again on tomorrow's show. Thank you so much.
I want to see I want to hear his prediction again.
Yeah, what's your prediction?
I want to hear his prediction again from Man United. I want to hear that explanation.
I know.
Yeah.
Sure, what's that?
Frank's awful prediction explanation for the Europa League final.
It's worth tuning in for that, Lord.
Yeah, go and see that segment over on our
again?
YouTube channel.
No,
Okay.
save it for tomorrow. Save it for tomorrow.
Save it for tomorrow.
Save it.
Yes,
Okay.
keep it.
Save it for the show, Frank. Frank will be back tomorrow on ESPN FC. Make sure that you are. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. You can go to bed now, Frank.